Hello everyone, and welcome to Fleet's Terrific Thursdays. I'm renaming it from Funky Thursdays. You might say, Fleet, what's Hoi 4 doing here? Well, I was a little bit lost on what game I wanted to record, and so I decided that I was going to record another session of the Hoi 4 game. Because I was enjoying it, and it kind of came in useful when I was drawing a blank on everything else. So, quick recap. Where is the Imperial State of Iran as it currently stands? Well, we're producing most of the things we need. We have our Air Force nearly up to full strength. We're building a pair of protected cruisers and a pre-dreadnought battleship, which is basically an enlarged coast defense ship. I'm going to rename this the Persian Gulf Force. So this will be the Persian Gulf Squad Fleet. This is no longer the Iranian Navy, this is the Persian Gulf Fleet. Because the real Iranian Navy comes much later. The real Iranian Navy is designed to contest the Indian Ocean, and we are far from that point yet. But now, we need to radically move forward so we can do one of my objectives and seize the Republic of Turkmenistan as quickly and as rapidly as possible. For a few key reasons. Primarily, it's down to a desire to expand the front line against Afghanistan and make it actually more able to be invaded and widen the front, possibly putting a capture of Kabul in the opening days of the war within reach. Secondly, it's because it's there. And taking it denies Russia an easy way to invade us, should that become something they wish to do again. But for now, we have to keep working forwards, and I think investments in support weapons are probably things we desperately want to do. And so we move forwards, once again. We want to prepare for a fairly long war, so we'll be researching limited conscription, we'll be instituting limited conscription to raise our force from a volunteer-only army to one that can fight fairly effectively. We'll be adding a machine gun and support artillery company to our infantry, along with a company of support artillery to our cavalry to increase their effectiveness. Although most of our armed forces supply is done by rail, a good chunk is also supplied by our reliable trucks that we build ourselves. The authoritarian state. Most excellent. We must have the support of the elites. This is Imperial Iran, after all. Without the elites, one cannot rule. We will, however, have public good healthcare. All of our oil revenue will not only go into our armed forces, we will be an enlightened monarchy, serving the needs of our people. There are sadly no resources in Turkmenistan, but we will... Oh, please don't tell me... Okay, they're not at war with the Provisional Russian Government, and they have a non-aggression pact. So invading them should be within our reach, provided we have enough... we can work through our focus tree fast enough, and get to a point where such an invasion is not only possible, but practical. Speaking of which, we are really working through our focus tree quite quickly. We will coronate our... Well, of course, he's a divine figure. we will of course gain authority from our religion. Because, as we know, we are no longer an Iran that relies on Islam. We shall go back to the old ways, when Zoroastrianism ruled half the world. A religion that preached faith and tolerance and an acceptance of all. And we actually have an air force now. 100 fighters and 100 close air support aircraft. Now what I wish to do is research basic anti-aircraft guns. Not only to improve the anti-aircraft capabilities of our warships, but also to allow us to, in the cases where our air force may not be available, allow our armed forces some limited amount of self-defense capability. And we shall get a silent workhorse to increase our political power gain. Oh, post-Jutland armor, fantastic. Let me research post-war hulls for our first proper dreadnought battleships. Oh, excellent. The Ares is actually being constructed fairly rapidly. Very, very good. We'll trade with the UK. That'll keep them fairly happy. We'll crush dissenters, sadly. They don't want to listen. The people, they don't want to listen. It's just... It's sad. They don't want to listen. Like, we're trying to be nice and they don't want to listen. Excellent. Once we do strike out on our own, we'll be able to strike Turkmenistan, which will be a fairly short, sharp, and brutal war. But it's one we should be able to win with fairly decent speed. Aircraft construction, fantastic. And then I want range extensions, because I do want to actually upgrade our aircraft to at least have... Oh, good lord, did we finish the Ares already? Oh, we did! Fantastic. So then what I want is... So we did research submarines. Yes, we did. Fantastic. So... these will be the Type 1s. No class names, since they'll just be... Oh. That's right. We don't have torpedoes. I forgot about that. Okay, so... let's actually talk about constructing our first proper destroyers. Oh yeah, we don't have torpedoes. Okay. I don't want my dockyard sitting idle. So... we may as well construct convoys, actually. Yeah, we don't have many convoys. Yeah, let's construct convoys while we work on getting actual torpedoes to put on our ships. Since not having torpedoes is... not great. Oh, we need trains. As well. Oh. So we have to make sure we need to research trains and torpedoes. Trains and torpedoes, two vitally important things to the Iranian state. I think well, trains first, because we need the trains to actually do our land warfare, and without the land warfare, we won't have the industry to create a navy, which we will need to fight certain powers. So we'll take Turkmenistan. Shouldn't be that hard. The new Afghan Empire, eh? And they've got war goals on lots of large people. If they use them, I mean, they'd have to be suicidal too. Post-war heavy hulls. Excellent. Then we want at least mixed armor scheme. We don't want to do something so silly as building battleships without all or nothing in this era. We need at least mixed armor. I mean, building them all or nothing would be downright silly. So, trains and torpedoes! Excellent. Ah, good. We've got a decent size air force. Did we research? We did. Fantastic. So, this will be the F-1B, which will carry drop tanks to enable it to operate much further afield. And we'll be converting our stockpiles to them. The same thing with the C-1B. The C-1Bs will not only carry this, they will also carry drop tanks and dive brakes to improve their effectiveness when hitting ground-based targets. Oh wow, we already researched basic torpedoes. Fantastic. Then let's at least get multi-mounted batteries that can have more guns than just the single-barreled or double-barreled mounts that we've been using so far. There we go. So, oh, the Neo-Seljuk Empire. Oh, they really think they are, do they? I mean, I admire their boldness, but that's about all I admire. Oh, there we go. All or nothing. That is what we want. So, upgrading our aircraft. This is all very good. That'll mean their range will increase dramatically. Strike out on our own? Yes, we can. So, Neo-Seljuk Empire. I claim your territory, and do declare you to be in a legal state. I'm now going to do honor guards, which will mean that we can... So these elite divisions, they need at least support artillery. Actually, no. Give the elite divisions flamethrowers. That'll be funny. The elite divisions have flamethrowers. Just burn their way through absolutely everything. I probably should give them a spiffy icon. Yeah, give them the eagle icon. They'll burn through everything. Yeah! There we go. Now we will commandeer some of the Iranian Railways trains to support our logistics. All or nothing armor scheme. Fantastic. I'm just waiting now on certain things. Like our improved armor plate. And early torpedo defense. Because not having either of those and building a capital ship in this period is not the best idea. Well, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth has decided to cast the die, for what it's worth. Whether or not that's a good idea remains to be seen. Me personally, I don't know. It could be a good idea, or it could be an absolutely terrible one. I don't know. So, with all of this accomplished, we now come to some basic doctrinal steps that we need to take. Basic firefighting drills. Basic ideas of how to shoot correctly at sea. with some of our factories, I do also want to produce some experimental facilities to enable us to, well, oh my god, we actually did build that supply network. That didn't take very long at all. We're actually prepared for the war with Afghanistan in a way I wasn't expecting to be for some time. Infantry Brigade will of course also have anti-tank rifles. And once all that's done, we need to also construct a naval doctrine, which will be naval battle. Even though we are commerce raiders, I like the ability that if I do get into a fight, I aim to walk away with most of the ships I entered that fight with intact. Because walking away from that fight with my ships not intact is not a good idea. In fact, it's a very, very bad idea. Can I get at least 4 divisions? I can get 4 divisions. Fantastic. Very nice indeed. Oh my goodness, the Russian Empire is back. What an incredible shock this is. The Puppet Master. Very nice. Our leader will become the puppet master behind the scenes. If anything goes wrong, blame the Prime Minister, not the Emperor. He's guided by the will of the Zoroastrian gods. How can he truly be in the wrong? This war won't take too long, and the Western democracies won't be willing to come to the aid of fascists. And then we'll declare war on Afghanistan, who the British definitely will not aid. Because, well, why would they? The Afghanistans want to invade and destroy them. And then we'll get basic transports. Which means we can build some Iranian ocean liners. Truly a great day. Then we'll start building anti-aircraft guns. So that we have some anti-aircraft guns, because I want to add them to the divisions. Machiavellianism. Oh, let me just take the capital and end the war real quick. Won't take very long. Separate fire mains? I do agree, that's a very good idea. Right, with all that said, let's design and construct Iran's first capital ships. Now, given what we've already built, so this will be the Anubis class battleships. So I'm thinking we'll build a dual-purpose battery, torpedo bulges, all or nothing armor, no radar as of yet, but we have fire control at least, anti-aircraft guns, a midships catapult. For armament, I'm thinking we'll go with 10 15-inch guns arranged in triple super firing over twins, is what I'm thinking. Sorry, twins super firing over triples, I mean. There we go. And with all that said, 24 knots. It's not slow, but it's not quick. But then again, that's fine. That's actually fairly acceptable. So lay down Anubis and Diana to enter the fleet, and these will be forming the core of what will be the Indian Ocean fleet. However, I am now going to... Oh! No yards available for repairs, that's not good. I also need to do naval exercise. We need to work up the... we need to work up the Persian Gulf fleet, including Ares, their only battleship, so that she can at least serve in a decent capacity. Yeah, Turkmenistan is not long for this world. And now we will actually do interwar tank development, because I do at least want some basic armour, even if it is just an FT-17 with bolted extra armoured plates too. Marvellous! More forces that have been integrated. There we go. Fantastic. Let me just... Ooh, if I can... That's the whole goal here. We've extended the area of control, but what I would like to point out is Afghanistan is always a tough fight. Always. And it's likely to remain a tough fight even in this age. Ah, okay, so we will seduce the major powers. It's a good idea. It's something that's been done before by certain people, but it's not the worst concept. So, by May 1940, we'll have a pair of battleships. Then we need to consider what's going to follow them, and what will work with them. I think more of our older designs is not the best idea. I do want to build up some ocean liners, however, because they're useful for doing naval invasions. And if we do end up fighting a major power like the United States, Japan, or Britain, we can convert some of our ocean liners into carriers fairly easily. Bear in mind, Russia is a puppet of Japan, so I'm not overly concerned with them. I actually now have an air force of 400 aircraft, which is fairly good. What I do actually need is a force of troops to garrison our newly conquered territory. So, we need a garrison division. The best thing to have, of course, is military policemen. They're skilled in dealing with partisans. And, of course, they're not going to impact the local populace the same way as troops would. They're likely to bring the local population into compliance and becoming a core part of Iran once again, rather than the horrible alternative of shooting so many of the locals that they're likely to turn on us rather than work with us. There we go. Convoy interdiction is what we want. We want to send our submarines out to raid commerce on the high seas, and probably keep a coastal flotilla of 10 boats for work in the Persian Gulf. This looks fairly good. I reckon we can actually, if we're quick, we can break through Afghan lines and seize Kabul before they have a chance to fortify. Because that's what matters here. If they have a chance to fortify, we're out of luck. And it'll become another slow grind for Afghanistan. Okay, so we have a bunch of equipment and guns. Very nice, very nice. Okay, Portugal just died. Okay, the Iberian state exists. Franco has zero chill. Good to know. Slowing things down to 4 speed as things are moving a little bit quick right now, but I want to research basic engines and basic armored protection. And also work on trying to improve cooperation with our newly integrated peoples. We are not here to conquer. We are here to work with them. Oh, the offensive into Afghanistan's bogged down. It always does. It always does. The invasion into Afghanistan always bogs down. It's just one of those things. You invade Afghanistan, it bogs down. That's just the way it is. As long as I can prevent them pushing me out of territory I've taken already, then they have very little hope of actually succeeding. And I mean by that, they can't win the war. It's going to be a slow, steady grind, but I'm fairly confident that it's a war we can, in fact, win. Indeed. Convoy sailing. What an excellent idea. F9 is for some reason not working up as well as the rest of the fleet is, but well, that just sometimes happens. If I can get air support, I can probably blast through the front lines fairly quickly. And we'll put women workers in place while we're at war. Women who work will produce the guns and equipment we need to fight them. Well, all the people. Let me bring in the first 2 air wings to fight on the Afghan front. That will massively help our war efforts. Because we have aircraft and they don't. They have a great deal more men than we do, but their forces are by far and away worse than ours. There's also the small fact that we have air power and they do not. Which can make all the difference in the world. Yeah, they have more factories than we do as well. But our armies are better equipped to deal with this war than theirs are. They can throw themselves against us all they like. They're just going to bleed their troops to death, while we work on ways to come around the problem. To continually make our armed forces better, stronger, tougher. Oh, Hungary's demanded Transylvania. This can only end well, I'm absolutely sure. Surely no one would refuse Hungary. Oh, wait, Romania refused. Who could have seen that one coming? We're probably going to need agricultural support. Industry is nice, but we're not really an industrial power. And likely won't be for a long time yet. We're a power based around agriculture. Most of our wealth for a long time has been extracted by foreign companies that we're barely able to tax. It's changed recently, but again, it's not something that we've really had a handle on. I mean, they've lost 80,000 men in this conflict. It's honestly, it's not embarrassing, but it is a little disconcerting for them. I mean, their troops were also operating at the edge of supply, far from their own logistics network. The difference is, our boys actually have trucks! And trucks can make people go places. Or in this case, make supplies go places. There we go, we've moved the frontage forward a little bit. Taken certain key areas and enabled us to move the front line forwards in a manner that I would consider to be a little bit aggressive. Oh, Romania just casually annihilated what was the Kingdom of Hungary. Oh, and then they took Eastern Hungary from Hungary. Oh, good lord. Hungary just got their teeth kicked in. The French Commune is fighting to kill France, which is fascist. This is a world very much unlike our own. The UK is the only one that stayed even remotely close to the real world order of things. Germany's gone communist. Wait, what? Oh my goodness. That's not even the traditional German focus tree. They're just fodder for the cannons now. There we go. Give me the full 9 yards. Let's try and push them back even further. The problem is, yes, we're outnumbered, but they are so incredibly outgunned, it's not even funny. Manufacturing. Let us increase the output of our factories. Yeah, I have to really core these states. 80% compliance. Oh, I didn't change the settings, did I? Oh, well, it makes sense. To be fair, 80% compliance is probably fair, and it makes the challenge not completely easy. I've always been one saying that the compliance gain should be lower. Well, there you are, fleet. There's your challenge for you. So, military-industrial organisations. Let's do some of this. We will simplify our suspension. Work with crew ergonomics for our tanks. For our aircraft, we will have. We'll work on aircraft for our bombers and our naval aviation. For our escort ships, we'll have them hunt submarines. And have high-speed biohunting equipment and advanced hydrodynamic designs. For our infantry weapons, we'll have them attack softly. Increase the rate at which we manufacture them. We've done our tanks already. For our artillery, we'll increase the mass production of our guns. And from our motorized equipment, we'll make it cheaper to construct, so that it doesn't break the bank. The last thing we want is our motorized equipment breaking the bank, since it is one of the main things that supplies our war effort. And it's the very last thing we want. The front line must move and be stable, lest all is lost to us forever. Oh dear. Il Duce is kill. What a shame. He was a good man, one of the best. No, he wasn't. No, Il Duce was not one of the best. Bit of a twit, to be honest with you. Being the least bad of dictators does not mean that you are a good man. It just means you are the least worst out of a bunch of bad options. Let's produce a new supply hub and link that by rail to our current ones. If we can. There we go. Manufacturing. It's a thing that we manufacture. Truly. It's excellent. There's 20 Afghan divisions just starving there. If I could kill them, this war would be over instantly. The problem I've got is that I can't really do that as things stand right now. I have to think of a workaround. I think we'll get medium airframes, because I think they will be useful, along with improved radial engines. Ah, one of our generals got wounded. That's sad. Improving the infrastructure means we'll have more supply. If we can punch a hole even further eastward, that complicates their supply situation even more than it already is. Which is what we want. The more complicated the Afghani supply situation is, the worse off their situation becomes. And the better our situation becomes. Yeah, breaking that northern pocket is not going to happen. Yeah, throw more men into that, because I want to actually try and break that frontline province. It is mountainous, but, well, it was always going to be. It's Afghanistan. It's literally made of mountains, mountains, more mountains, and not much else besides the mountains. So throw some men into that attack on the centre, because again, that complicates their situation even more than it already is. Ooh. Can I still reorganise the railway network? If I can, now is the time to use it, when I absolutely need to bring things forward. I don't want to use chemical artillery, that's not probably the best idea. The problem we've got is the mountainous terrain. It's incredibly hard to break through. Well, what was a spoiling attack has become a an attack that's led to us seizing control of a great deal more of Afghanistan than I was intending to actually seize control of. And it's complicated their frontline situation even more. Can I... Apparently that's a militia brigade. Can I punch through that militia brigade? Because if I can cut off that force north of their frontage, and that'll give them a real problem to have to deal with. Yeah, do a full-scale offensive along the entire frontage. Just try and... Yep, there we go. That's what we needed. That's 2 Afghan divisions encircled right there. And that means that's 2 extra kills for the armed forces of Persia. Even with our extra range, our aircraft still can't operate close enough to the front line. The first Anubis class has been commissioned, and it's time for them to join the Indian Ocean Fleet. Indian Ocean Fleet. So this is the Indian Ocean Battle Fleet. What I then need to decide is what follows them. Yeah, the Afghani troops are in a bit of trouble, though. I'm fighting this war deliberately. They weren't expecting that. So I've got the 2 Anubis class. Given the fact that I don't have hulls that are post-World War I in cruisers and destroyers, I'm half tempted just to follow on with another pair of Anubis class, get up to 4 battleships in the Indian Ocean Fleet. Oh, no wonder we have no steel. Our steel supply's been cut off. Yeah, I am going to go with that. I'm going to follow up with another pair of Anubis-class ships, Freya and Typhon. Bring us up to 4 battleships in the Indian Ocean Fleet. 4 battleships that are fairly powerful. Not the greatest things the world's ever seen, but by no means are they the weakest battleships in the world. Well, we managed to kill those 2 divisions, so that's actually quite good. It's a full, yeah, it's a full Afghani counterattack to try and drive us out of what territory we currently hold. It's really not their finest move, all things being considered. They could have done far better with what, oh, that's a unique opportunity. We have to take that. That's enough force concentration to actually take that territory. And if we can do that, we cut off so many Afghan divisions. So many. They know it as well, so they're trying to counterattack and stop us. But if we can succeed there, we actually strike a blow that will massively impact the war. No, we're not going to succeed. They've done too many counterattacks. Knowing when to quit is also kind of vital. Oh, we need more steel. So again, hey Britain, I'd like to buy from your steel mills, please. Thank you. Keep Freya and Typhon on schedule. Okay, we managed to catch 6 divisions. It's not the full 13 I'd hoped for, but it's better than nothing. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say, and now it's time for our first tank. So our designers have gone north to Russia, and we've nicked off with this tank that they call a T-26? It's a fairly interesting concept. We feel like they're aiming in the right direction, but we feel as though they could be doing more with the design. And we want to create a diesel-engined cavalry tank. So this will be the Imperial Armour Company L... probably L840. So light tank, 8 tons, 1940. Which is a cavalry tank for work with the Iranian cavalry. It's just fast enough to work with the Iranian cavalry. Doesn't need to be more powerful than that. If they don't stop attacking our potential supply hub location, I'm going to get really annoyed at them. But Romania, you literally just fought the Hungarians. You literally just fought the Hungarians. And now you've started a war that's going to bring the Italians in on your entire alliance. Why would you do that? Yeah, I think Persia's going to have to restore order to the Balkans. I'm not going to lie. I think the Persian Empire is going to have to go all the way, restore order to the entire world. Don't think we have a choice here in Persia anymore. There we go. Casualties for the Afghan Empire are just climbing into the stratosphere, whereas we're doing all right. We can build a forward airbase, and we will build a forward airbase. Because we need one. Air power is just so vital to our ability to conduct campaigns. Especially in Afghanistan. Wow, air power being vital in Afghanistan. Where have we seen that one before? It's almost as if other nations have discovered exactly this concept. That you need air power to function in what is essentially mountains, mountains, more mountains. And did I mention there are mountains there? There we go. Well, that's something at least. We've managed to succeed in taking certain key parts of certain empires. Also, Turkmenistan isn't actually worth that less. It's actually got 3 mills and... yeah, 3 mills and 3 civs. That's actually worth... oh. South Africa's been granted responsibility for the African colonies. Interesting choice there by the UK, given that there's a... okay, the French nation... which was communist is now fascist. Europe is weird right now. Oh, excellent. We have our new supply hub. Beautiful. Now things get even worse for the Allies. Well, Allies, I should say, for the Afghanistanis. So we have 1 level of airfield. I just now need the next level of airfield. But I can at least move some of our aircraft forwards to provide more air cover for the majority of offensive action in Afghanistan. Crop barons. Well, yes, we kind of have to accept that such people exist, and if they're not working with us, they'll be working against us, so we have to placate them in order to ensure that our forces can, at the very least, function. The problem with the Afghani army is it's bloated. Every casualty it takes is a man that cannot be replaced. We may not gain ground, but we deplete their army. Every battle we fight, every offensive we do, the Afghani army gets more and more depleted, weaker and weaker, constantly. Always. They have no reinforcements. No men to call up into the army. They're on service by requirement, and they have no men. I wonder if they even have the political power to go to all adult serve. I would question whether they do or not. Well, we've managed to take Kunduz in the north, which helps us. What I really need is siege howitzers. Siege howitzers could break open this wide. But I sadly don't have them right now. I can only make limited offensives here and there. What I do plan to do is encircle their north. Seize the territory to the north of Kabul and ensure that they can't form a defensive bastion on Kabul itself. If I can do that, I can absolutely have a great impact on the outcome of this war. Our forces move to seize positions, take territory, filling gaps in the front line. It's amazing what you can do with air power. And just like that, the Ride of the Valkyries has come on the Hearts of Iron 4 radio. And with that, with our troops fully supplied, our command bonus in place, and our forces ready for action, we commence what I hope will be the Great Push, the final offensive along every axis of the front, to completely and utterly annihilate the Afghani army and destroy the Afghan nation and reintegrate it into its rightful place within the Persian Empire. And there is, of course, Iraq to deal with as well. But no one will be coming to their aid, either. And we continue to upgrade the doctrine of our armed forces, so that when the time comes, we shall be ready for them, and they shall not resist us. Yep, we forced a break in the Afghanistan lines. Oh, excellent! A naval research facility. Fantastic. And we have a female scientist. See, we're progressive here in the but we have researched Great War Heavy Hull, and we have researched oh, we need basic heavy battery, right. Excellent. Yep, this is it. This is the offensive that's going to break the nation of Afghanistan. They're bleeding out men, and they just can't afford to replace them. Whatever men they get is being thrown into the armed forces, and it's just not enough. I admire their commitment, but I don't admire the fact that they're standing in the way of total victory. Total victory that grows closer with every day that passes. There we go. Fantastic. Marvelous. I need to halt my own offensive before I bleed through what equipment I have, and I really don't want to do that. We're nearly on the verge of total victory. We've just got to keep the pressure up on Kabul. Rotate troops in and out and ensure that the pressure on Kabul never lets up. Because the pressure on Kabul lets up, they might reinforce it or they might dig in. And we cannot have that. We cannot possibly have that. There you go. Like I said, keep the pressure on every sector of the front. It might cost us in manpower and materiel in the short term, but it will absolutely pay dividends. 110 tanks. How much will it cost to assign them to a cavalry brigade? 20. I don't have that many cavalry brigades, I have just enough. Our light tanks will join the assault on Kabul, helping us to continually pressure the capital. You can see their casualty count rising in real time, as our troops deliver hammer blow after hammer blow after hammer blow to the Afghani forces. They must be close to giving in now. You would hope. Of course we'll standardise our components for our armour. Not standardising our components for our armour would be, well, I don't want to say suicidal, but I'm going to say suicidal. We're a small nation, we don't have the armour to, not standardise. Yeah, the casualty rates, are massively in our favour. We're nearly ready. Nearly ready for what comes next. Again, we have to keep throwing men into the assault on Kabul. Super heavy naval gun. Marvellous. That, gentlemen, is what we need to create gun pits and sinking baths to create 18-inch and above naval guns. For Iran to compete on the world stage, our battleships cannot simply be equivalent to the fast battleships the other powers are producing. It simply will not do. Kabul must be seized. I'm ordering an all-out offensive. Their will break before ours does. As long as we throw more men at Kabul, we're on the verge of victory. If Kabul falls, that's it. We win. They know it as well as we do. If Kabul falls, we win. It's why they're digging in and holding on with clenched teeth. It's why they won't let us just casually walk in and take the place. It's why everything has to be thrown in. All of Iran's air power is needed to break open the defences. The alternative is no victory. And there must be victory. I know my troops are bleeding for equipment. I know that this offensive into Kabul is costly. But it is yet more costly for the Afghanistani government. They've lost half their country. They can't afford to supply their army. Fine, I'll call a halt to the offensive. It brings me massive pain to do so, but I must. I'm going to buy Polish guns to make up for the equipment deficit. It'll use up most of our factories, but it's worth it. Oh, they're trying to counterattack. That's adorable. Please, try and counterattack with no men. Excellent. Super heavy hull. Fantastic. We'll get midget submarines, which are basically equivalent to coastal submarines, for work in the enclosed waters. Post-war cruiser hulls. I think constructing a new class of cruiser is not a bad idea. We want at least 4 to match our battleships. And we don't want them to be too expensive. We want to carry a decent number of planes. So this will be the Hammerhead class. Cruiser. Of which I'll lay down 4. Caribbean Cruiser, White Tip Brief, Hammerhead, and Blue. I am going to end this Afghanistan war before I end this video. Now I'm going to build up. Army effort. We'll have an effort to upgrade our army. That's not a bad idea, that. War bonds. Increase the amount of factories available for the war effort. Come on, give in! Urgh. There can only be victory. Defeat is not an option. Denmark, you alright over there, Chief? Oh, I don't know why Denmark declared war on Sweden, but they did apparently. I'd call this whole thing bizarre, but, well, it kind of is. Attack Kabul. We will seize Kabul now that our troops are organised and fairly straightforward. Every division must have a command company. Come on, break Kabul. They can't just sit there and not die. Okay, the US wants to send Lend-Lease. I am actually able to do this because I have the convoys to do it thanks to my investments. Marvellous. 4 cruisers will be done by 1942. Fantastic. It also means since I'm getting Lend-Lease I can cancel my contract for the from the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Excellent. Come on! Die already! How hard do you have to poke a country before it dies? I mean, good lord. Come on! Yes, please be a scavenger. Capture equipment from the enemy. Oh, come on, this is it. Please let this be it. This is it. No! Hold them back! No. Come on! Die already! These Afghani offensives are annoying to deal with and The annoyance of this. We've received more equipment. Hit them again. Come on. They'll break before we do. We just have to keep throwing men at them until they break. $700,000 Afghans have died. And for what? To avoid reintegration into a regime that isn't fascist? To avoid the righteous rule of the Zoroastrian Shah? I mean, really? You do have to wonder if they know what's good for them. Heavy bombs. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, they're leaving faster than they can reinforce. Come on. Little more. Just a little more. Come on. Come on. Push us over that edge. Come on. We can do this. Come on. Come on, we can do this. The Iranians will eventually run out of shit to throw into the pile, and we won't. Come on. Kabul is on the verge this time. We've got them over 80. Come on. Nearly there. Come on. Yes. Yes, come on. Come on! Victory! Kabul has fallen! Oh, you are kidding me. The Afghani Empire isn't dead? How can they not be dead? There are no more victory points they can own! There are no more victory points! What possible thing is there to defend? On that terrible disappointment that the fall of Kabul did not lead to the destruction of the Afghani Empire, I leave you all until this Sunday. The war with Afghanistan is still raging. The year is 1941. Our troops continue to battle through the mountains of Afghanistan after heroic capture of the Afghani capital of Kabul. It granted us a boon to our income of steel and other resources. Our shipbuilding industry continues apace as we research the ability to construct large caliber naval guns. This is where I leave the Imperial State of Iran. Once Afghanistan has fallen, that will be the hardest war we ever have to fight. Every war after that will be easy. Iraq, the Arabic Empire, the Turkish Socialist Republic, they will all fall beneath Iranian steel. And with that, gentlemen, I bid you good night from Fleet, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of Fleet's Terrific Thursday!